Uh, we'll just start off at Lost Hold, and we'll progress through the rest as we go. Um, for Lost Holds, I'll just start off by from Scout and go down that way. Just makes the most sense. For the most part, your Scout can just roam around on a Lost Hold. Pretty much he just fits in a support role, as in he just goes wherever his soldier goes if he needs to, or he just spots a lot. Um, it depends. Like this is not something a Scout has to do, but it just depends on what your preferences are as a team and what like you always have certain spy checkers in your team, and you have certain people that are more frag heavy. Like there's teams that have their scout on spy check for some reason, but some teams do, and they have people. You have teams who don't have their heavy on spy check, but an NG that perma spy checks, for example. So this all depends on your personal preferences. But in general, what's good for your scout to do is have him roam around under and spot river a lot, so he can also support his demo if the demo fights river, or the soldier in demo that start to fight river. Scout is also pretty strong on balcony. He's good to when the sniper's called in main. He's good to pressure that out. The scout just goes wherever he needs to, wherever he can be supportive, because the scout doesn't really have like a spot where he's very strong and unlost. He just has to play a bit versatile and walk around and be the mobile class he is. Um, so you just gotta see how that goes depending on how the other classes play. For soldier, for the most part, you are one out of two people who will be playing point, which can consist of you playing under, playing on the point itself, or when you're sure they're not pushing yet. What is also very good for your soldier to do in your demo is have your demo pressure shutter and have your soldier pressure from balcony whilst your scout is pressuring from main. That way you can if you're like stalemating for a long time, you can maybe get picks and push out into lobby and get space. Um, of course, soldier can also support river. That, like I said, it all depends on what you prefer doing. But for the most part, it's very strong to have your soldier, like a roamer would do in sixes, have him play balcony area, because that's just where he's very strong. But as soon as his heavy needs assistance on the point, he should of course go to the point. But flank classes aren't that complicated on Lost. For your pyro, just for the most part, plays here. Your main job as a pyro on holding Lost is being very always ready to deny the shutter ubers. Because shutter ubers are the easiest thing in the world to deny if your pyro is there. It's also the only time you want to uber shutter is when the enemy's pyro isn't in position, because that's the only time that uber is ever gonna work. Because if the pyro sees you walk in and he's already standing here, it can just keep you in the shutter and keep opening and closing it, and you can counter pop into them and leave. Another important thing is I already told you this, Nicholas, like to put your sentry gun in this area. But this is something Pyro should do anyway, is whenever they bled people or they're not pressuring or they're not ready for a push or they're building Uber or whatever, there's like space. Your Pyro really needs to spy check here, because this is like the most common spot for a spy to wait for a lost push and decloak and start fighting from. Especially when you would consider what I told you with putting the gun here. If you put your level 3 here, or even a mini, but level 3 preferred. And what the spy, like any good spy, would do 90% of the time is before his team pushes in, he's gonna be waiting here. Pyro's gonna be distracted by the Uber, Demo's gonna be distracted by the Uber, so the NG's pretty much left by himself with like the sniper. And then the spy is just gonna pop out here, sap his gun and start shooting it, or keep sapping, or sap it and start shooting the NG. You get the idea. He's just gonna try to fight the NG. So spy checking this as Spyro is especially it's worth it a lot, because if you can catch that spy early before a push, they might delay the push, or the push might just be way less successful for the enemy team. So that's definitely like the main spot you want to be spy checking together with, depending on where your sniper plays, but your sniper should be playing pocket for the most part on lost holds, because that way he's not too committed to anything and he's not gonna die that easily. The only other spots that are like very important to spy check are up these barrels up here. I mean, he can't get up there unless if you have a teleporter here. But that's only, wait, is it blue or red side? I'll check at the end. There's one spot, I don't know if you know about it, but if you put a tele entrance here when you're holding lost, you can jump up this box and have your heavy up here. If the enemy sniper's dead, that's like the strongest shit ever.
Okay.
When it's situational, but it can be good. Either way, the common spy decloaks are the most common one is definitely here when he's trying to go for sniper. If your sniper is like playing around this area or like here-ish, the spy will most commonly always try to get behind here or decloak here and then go for the spy. So spy checking under here and spy checking here for both heavy. I mean, this is more like a spot heavy can check, right? And then under would be more
But
for pyro because the heavy is too slow to do so.
it depends on
Um,
where the heavy is playing. But I guess heavy is playing on last pretty much all
Yeah,
the
he's
time.
usually playing on the point,
Yeah.
so Pyro has to take the full importance of spy checking everything, but also being aware of Uber situations with his medic. Like his medic just has to be aware of the Uber situation. That way, he can get in position to deny shutter Ubers. Um, because that's what it's mainly for, and also to keep. Like the main thing you want to do if you do use this gun spot is have your pyro play around the gun. Let's say that they Uber and shutter. The strongest thing for your pyro to do is deny all the spam from the demo man coming in. That way, the Uber will just negate the whole Uber, and your whole team can just chill and wait for the Uber to fade, and then they can just walk back into them and see what they can get without overcommitting. So that's like the main thing. Like you don't want to give up this high ground area as combo for the most part, unless if they start pressuring the point too hard. That's why for the most part you want to have both your heavy soldier and sometimes even NG playing under area. If you're like, let's say that your gun goes down, right? You definitely want like your NG to start roaming around. Or let's say that they're rolling you to lost and you don't have time to build level 3s, you can just build a mini and place it here. That's like the only other valuable spot that goes with this one for NG. But playing under with 2 to 3 people is very important because as long as you keep that under control, your combo can stay on the high ground, and it's very hard for the enemies to walk in from river, balcony, and lower. The only place you can walk in from is here, but that's fairly easy for your pyro to deny. Then moving on to demo. Demo does the same thing as pyro for the most part. Just stands around this area, puts traps wherever he likes. Whenever enemy sniper is dead or whenever he has the space, he can pressure river with scout, soldier, whatever you guys want to do. He can pressure balcony, pressure lower. You can pretty much pressure anything for the most part. That just depends on your preferences and whatnot. But for the most part, demo just tries to put as much pressure as a demo man is supposed to do on like the lost holds and try to get picks by putting traps, etc. There's nothing really special about demo. Like the main things he's gonna do is just stay around this area and pressure river. Those are the 2 spots that he can really do a bit of like most work on defense without overcommitting. And like I said, that play you can do with having your scout pressure main and having your soldier pressure balcony and then have you walk into shutter and start pressuring lobby. Um, when you're trying to push out from Lost. Then your heavy, I mean, that's straightforward. He should just be on the point 24/7. You can, but you should probably just build your dispenser for yourself here. But you could possibly build your dispenser on one of these slope thingies, that ramps. That way your heavy can stand inside of them. Something I used to do on NG is I would literally put my dispenser here, put a telly and a telly here, and they couldn't walk up without destroying all of these buildings properly. It's retarded, but it actually delayed pushes by like 6 seconds sometimes, which is a pretty big deal. Um, but you don't need to do that, obviously. When you have like all the time of the world as an NG, then you should probably just place tellies here to troll the enemies. But for the most part, keeping your dispenser here will be more valuable because your pyro and your demo man can use it more. Then I mean, and then the 2 spots I would recommend if you're running level 3s is whenever you're holding here is super strong because it denies Ubers from river and shutter, but your pyro should be denying that anyway, but you can assist with that, right? Of course, always as NGB aware of, like I said, these common spy decloaks like here and here, those are definitely gonna happen when the engineer is wrangling into the enemy combo. That's why the pyro has to stay around the NG as well. That way he can catch him and can also protect the gun from taking damage. Um, the main thing you want to do is keep your gun up here 24/7 with level 3s. It might look like a weird spot, but it's like it worked for me. Like it's never failed. It's only failed like once for me. This spot. It's retarded, but it works because this spot is not good at all because it gets spammed out very easily. Sniper pops out lower, 150 hits with his sniper rifle. Demo starts spamming it from river, soldier spams rockets from balcony, that gun goes down guaranteed. This spot, you don't want to put it all the way here because it can get shot from main. The main idea is that you put it here, that way it can only get shot by someone aggressively peeking out of balcony or a demo man over committing from river. You kind of want this pillar to block the sniper sightliner onto you as NG. That's like the main idea behind putting it here. Pretty much nothing can peek it without overextending it is the idea behind that spot. When you do successfully deny an Uber and you get enough picks to push out, what I always did is I just picked up my gun, placed it in the river spot. That way you know when people are crossing when you're holding lost as NG. And if the spy does manage to get you, you still have that level 3 watching the point, so the spy can't just cap. It's like the main idea behind it. It's just that level 3 in that spot is gonna buy you enough time for your team to cap second. Depending
which
on
spot?
Hmm?
Which spot?
Here, the river watching
Right,
spot.
okay.
Yep. The only thing you gotta be aware of though is when it's here, depending on where you place it, sometimes this hole can trigger it. So if something would walk past, I don't know, let's say that an enemy scout comes into your baby door and tries to flank into lobby, your gun can also get triggered. So sometimes you might be like, oh, someone went river, but in reality it was just someone passing by there. So I mean, as soon as you hear the gun trigger, you just know someone's in the area for the most part. This can also work. Let's say that you don't want to run level 3s or you don't have the time to, this is definitely the best mini spot right here. Because it watches river cross and it watches point, which is mainly what you want it to do. On Lost Hold. And then yeah, I mean I don't really have to go over medic, right? So your NG is gonna build a dispenser like here probably. So you just stand around the dispenser area for the most part, and whenever your demo man commits to the point, you commit with him. If he doesn't, you just stay on the high ground because that's where you're the safest. The only thing you gotta really watch out for is that sniper peeking out of balcony with an engineer when you're holding it. And then your snipers, like I said, best positioning for sniper is most likely here because you can watch both river balcony lower, or like here-ish.
Excuse me, I have to go get my dinner. I apologize, but yeah,
Okay,
I'll
see
see you
ya.
guys later.
Spy for the most part. I mean I don't really play spy, but what I see what I see a lot of spies do on Lost Holds when they're not roaming around lobby, you know, doing spy stuff, destroying teleporters, getting combo picks, etc. A pretty strong play that's like pretty underrated is for the spy to cloak and dagger here, or like if he has regular cloak and has enough of it, just stand here, wait for them to push in, and then when someone gets unflashed, decloak and go for that pick when they're Ubering him for river. It's a pretty valuable way of getting a free pick when they're pushing in. It's like the only thing I'm gonna say about spy on Lost Holds. It's just something that works a lot of the time. I've seen my spy do, and it has worked in the past. Because it's like something they're never gonna check for the most part, and nobody's really gonna spot you in this area when they're busy fighting other people. Then moving on to second, I'll just do everything defense first, and then I'll go over to mid fight and offense. So for second, for the most part, the strongest, like the default way. Also, if your engineer does manage to keep its level 3 up, you can always roll with your level 3 to mid. I mean to second. That's what I did because you don't want to waste that gun for the most part. But you can switch to minis if you don't want to. Because if you have a level 3 gun watching flank, the enemy flank can pretty much not contest until that gun dies. And if your flank supports you a bit. So for the most part, everyone just, I mean, I'm not gonna go over class by class. You just have your flanks, so you're a scout, soldier, engineer, and spy playing this area. Your spy can obviously also play behind them, but usually you're not gonna get much because they have so much time to spy check that you're usually not gonna get anything as spy. So it's usually better to either DR or just gun spy on the flank with your and support them, or decloak behind the enemy flank and trying to get picks for your flank, because your flank fight is pretty important on Gully Wash. So you want 4 people there for the most part. Then your dispenser is gonna be here. Where my old heavy used to play, and this is the preferred way and the strongest way in my opinion for my heavy to play, is have him here. He can, from here, he can spy check the entire second point, and he's always on high ground. As a heavy, the strongest utility you can use is high ground. So having your heavy here, spy checking all around the place, and when they do decide to push in, they start bombing, you can deny literally everything from this position. Or you can of course stand here, but right here you're more exposed to a sniper and you can't walk out of it. So here is definitely the better spot, because when the sniper walks in choke, you just back out and you can watch flank still. And you always secure that river area for your team if you're trying to back out towards it. And I mean the pyro demo just stalemate in the choke area for the most part. And your sniper can... it's important when you're holding, especially because you guys have like one of the better or like best open snipers,
Best
you should
open
definitely
sniper.
utilize that. You should definitely utilize that and make space for him in big door, both on offense and defense. Having your sniper like you don't need to on defense. I wouldn't rotate your whole flank, but if you your combo I mean. But if you have like 4 people of your flank alive in here, it's definitely a strong option to like have like if their enemy the enemy flank would die, is for your sniper to start pressuring from here, whilst your guys start pressuring from choke. Um, one important thing is to never walk into mid and let them walk into your second on defense, because that's just gonna lose you the round. You never do that. That's what enemies want you to do, and that's what you're gonna try to do on enemies. You never let them through to second because they have the faster cap, they have the better positioning, and half of their team is probably gonna be on respawner, so you're gonna have to fight from both front and back constantly, and it's just gonna be a whole shit show. So for the most part, let's say that you on defense rotate your combo to big door, they walk into choke, you want to rotate that back and fight that. If you don't fight that, you lose. For the most part. Same other way around. If you're in a choke, they come into big door, you definitely want your combo to rotate to there. That's also why the heavy spot is so good, because you can assist on both spots. I mean, yeah, and of course the Spencer goes here, but I think I already said that. And then mini sentry or level 3 just goes like here-ish. It's also when you have a level 3 and they still have second, it's also strong to put it. I mean, when they have second, when they're the contesting second rather, it's also strong to just play shutter here with your level 3 or mini, because you can if you put your gun here, you can watch the entire area here, and you can also watch flank and support your flank. But that depends. You can also just put your level 3 out here. That just depends. You just have to see what works. But preferably when you're running minis, you just put like your mini here and you try to support your flank as much as possible. I would definitely recommend running a Wrangler on this map, because it's worth the times you need it, and it will just tank more damage for your flank. But yeah, that's everything for second. Also, just be aware when you're fighting choke is for drop down plays from the enemy soldier. Also in an exchange, what you mainly want to go for on both offense and defense with your pyro is let's say that they overcommit to choke, is you want your pyro to reflect people into drop down. People that can't get back up, like heavy, pyro, are very good. Medic are very good people to just get an air blast into drop down here, because if you do manage to drop them into drop down, they can't contest anymore. They're pretty much useless at that point. So working if you're like in a bad situation to Uber and you have your pyro there, it's definitely always a good way to counter it, is by just getting people into drop down so you have less people in front of you to fight. Anyway, moving on to mid fights. For the most part, it's just dependent on what you want to do. But what the default way of playing it is you have your NG and sniper here. Your NG putting like a mini here-ish or like here, it depends on what he prefers. You can just wrangle your mini under points so the scout can rush you and rush your sniper. Can also watch, if you put it here, like here on this corner, you can also shoot the enemy demo, etc. Right? You get the idea. You're just trying to deny space and allow your sniper to get a bit more space. Your scout and soldier can either push under here, can push, I mean left side is not that strong, right side is stronger because you can get into the enemy banana. Your flank can also just go for an easy early demo pick, so like your scout just straight up walks through here and your soldier bombs for the demo. But what I usually have my scout do is I have him play like this area and scout out in the beginning and see what they're doing. Like if he doesn't see that mini sentry being built at all, nor being wrangled, then he can just pretty much safely get behind them in banana and wait for us to push forward and then collapse onto them. Whilst your soldier would go drop down and go behind them and drop down and camp the health back and choke is also very strong. But you mainly just want to have like an idea of we want to do this or we want to do that. If this or that doesn't work / happen. Like if you start losing people, you just have to quickly have your flank take control of a certain area together with the combo so you can get picks going. Because the main thing about mids on Gullywash is having your sniper get opening picks, but if that isn't happening, you need your flank to do so. So it's just important that you're always aware of what's alive, what control you have, where the enemies are playing, obviously, because that way you can coordinate your plays. And just just play around each other for the most part and play in a unit rather than everyone playing solo, because that doesn't work on really with mid fights. The strongest thing for your combo to do is play like this area, play up to here. If the enemy snipers it, of course, you can just walk around wherever freely. Having your sniper get into this area is very strong because he can deny anyone from going to the health pack. They can't back out properly, etc. He can also watch lower area if they cross. He can watch people coming out of elbow, etc. And for I mean the rest, I think the rest of the classes are quite straightforward, right? The rest of the combo just pushes through the point as a unit and tries to fight the enemy combo together with the flank and tries to get a collapse that way. The only thing I would say is like very underrated though, which I always do with my heavies, is I have my heavy whenever he gets the chance or whenever the sniper isn't playing big door and he can for free, he would just walk up to here and start the cap in the mid fight and just keep his minigun rift up and dance around the point left to right without overcommitting to anything. But if anything does contest him, it's just gonna instantly get raped. Like it's gonna instantly die. There's nothing that can contest a heavy in a spot like that for the most part. They're gonna have multiple people shooting him, or he's just gonna stay there for as long as he wants to. For the rest, it's just like I already explained it to you, right, Nicholas, what you had to do. So people just kind of see what you do and follow that up. When you die early on a mid fight, it's more up to your flank than it is up to you. But definitely like the strongest thing to just do is play around your sniper if you have the better sniper, and have your spy make a coordinated play later on into the round, or go for a sniper early is also very strong. If you can get the sniper down straight away, you can pretty much win the mid from that, because they have zero space creation. Unless if their spy or if anyone else, of course, makes a big play on you. But that's mid is kind of more like an experiment. Like you have the base way of playing it, but you just gotta experiment with how your team can make the best coordinated play for your play style for the most part. So you just gotta test out a couple of things. But I personally think the strongest thing to do is have your flank contest from elbow area, like your soldier contest from elbow area, or get ready to bomb, and then have your scout walk through elbow, or have your scout not elbow. What is this called? Wood, or whatever. I don't know what people call this actually. I just call it wood because of the panels, or people call it panels.
Oh, okay. I think it
Huh?
was actually elbow. Yeah, but it's fine. We know what you're talking about.
I mean, this is elbow.
Oh yeah, right. Shit. Never mind.
So that's why I was
Been
wondering.
waiting too long.
I usually call it pallet, like a wooden panel, but it's whatever. You get the idea. So you just want to pretty much pressure them from two sides, and that way try to fight them. Of course, it's always important that you keep someone with the sniper, preferably being your NG. Like your NG should just be with your sniper 24/7 on this map. That's the strongest thing you can destroy. I mean, the easiest way you can fix that protection for your sniper is just have your NG hug him 24/7. Moving on to pushing out of mid. When you're pushing into second, it's kind of like the same thing as on mid. Like the main thing you want to do once again is either have your, and the same thing you do in defense is you want either your flank to get openings on the flank, or you want to make a lot of space for your sniper to get openings. The easiest way to make space for your sniper is definitely having your soldier and scout or soldier NG go here, because I mean your soldier, it's very easy for a soldier to lock down a choke point, right? So if a soldier's just here and he has an NG or a scout to back him up, he can pretty much hold this by himself. And if they push in, he can just back out. But you want your whole combo to come like here until you can get like your sniper to here-ish, and your sniper can pretty much get whatever picks he wants from here, because everyone's gonna be walking in this sideline. And if they don't, they're just gonna be all standing clumped up here, and your soldier might be able to get a play onto them. The only time this is like not strong at all, like being here with your sniper, is when they're doing a river hold. Holding river is like probably the safest way to hold second, because you're always on high ground, therefore you automatically got the upper hand of high ground. So it's much harder for the enemies to contest you, because there's only so many classes that can contest high ground properly, which are your soldier and your demo. All other classes aren't that good at fighting high ground. So you just want to make space and big door so that your sniper can pick them from there. But when they're playing here, you preferably just want your flank here, and your flank can possibly push through baby door, get lobby control, and flank him that way. And then you can have your combo walking in through choke, making space slowly but surely for once again your sniper to walk in. your sniper can get to this area, he can pretty much pressure them out of upper. And of course, the strongest way to follow this up is by just having your combo walk all the way up here and walk into river. Like from pushing from river to get lobby control, and river control is the strongest way to do so as combo. And you just have your flank take control of the. You just have your flank take control of the lobby area at the same time. And your of course your scout capping, or I mean for the most part on this map, I personally feel like NG should be capping 24/7 because your scout can do so much more because it's a 5 CP map and scouts are just strong on it. So your scout should just be like I don't know, like you can also take your scout into Ubers if that's what you want to do, but it depends on what your scout prefers as well. But your scout and soldier should be together for the most part, and it should be your NG capping as well for the most part. Anyway, moving on to river, like let's say that you do get river control, you start to take lobby control, yada yada yada. You get into position here, right? This is where it gets complicated. Last pushes on Gully Wash. Is this makes the difference between the winning and the losing team, is whatever team can push last, because a team can out DM you as hard as they want, but if they don't know how to push last on Gully Wash and you know how to hold it, they're just not gonna pull it off at all. Because it's the hardest point to push on the whole map. So for the most part, right, what you want to go for is do the same thing as you would in sixes, is have people pressure the point and that way bait the enemy team onto the point so that they go onto low ground and you get the high ground advantage, and you can have all of them clumped up together and splash them to death with your demo and soldier. It's the main idea. So a couple ways you can do that is the strongest way in an Uber ad situation, or like the most common way, would be if the enemy sniper is dead or you get enough space for your medic to cross. He shouldn't just cross obviously because the sniper is going to be playing there for the most part, so he might get picked off. When you have full Uber ad, is have you walk under with the pyro heavy, and then have your demo man kind of chill here with the scout. You guys go under a point and start, or you should also have your NG here, so your NG can be kind of the bait and touch the point, because your NG isn't. I mean, you can also have your NG balcony with your sniper, but that of course depends. Or you can have your scout come with the. You have your scout come with the combo to bait the point, and then have your NG supporting your demo man and your sniper in river. But like I said, it all depends on where you prefer playing from and where the sniper feels most comfortable getting picks from. So you start baiting them onto the point. One thing you gotta be aware of is traps here. You can hide traps into this wood, and it's barely visible. So that's the only thing you gotta watch out for when you edge cap this, is for a trap to dead here. When you don't see the traps on the wall, you can pretty much be, and you see them here, you can be fairly sure that they're gonna be here. So you just gotta check it, clear it real quick. So you start baiting them onto the point, right? If you start taking too much damage, you can just Uber onto the point, and all of them, like whilst you're Ubering, your scout can still cap. Like, so you're gonna Uber in your pyro for the most part and start pressuring them off the point. And that way your scout can get on the point again with the heavy and start capping more. At the same time, you're gonna have your sniper demo or just your demo here, and whoever walks on the point, you can literally just hold right click and spam sticks onto them from here. It's so simple. Or you can, if they have a gun, you can start shooting the gun, or I mean, whatever you see the most use in being shot or the most use in being damage dealt, you should be shooting. But for the most part, it's strong to just have you shoot the point when people start walking onto it. The only thing you gotta watch out for when you do Uber onto this point is for a heavy secret. Like, a heavy secret can fuck up your after Uber very hard. If he just pops around the corner and you're all standing here on the point, he can deal massive damage to you. But for the most part, you would have already killed the heavy when you're pushing lost through under. Because you're gonna be walking with 3 people under, and the heavy's usually gonna be standing here. So you're gonna have to kill him before you can get on the point for the most part. Then again, like I said, you can have your NG sniper here, but NG sniper should stay together for the most part. So what is also very strong is so a mini sentry can shoot through this railing very easily. Unlike like rockets and shit, you can't shoot projectiles through this for some reason, but you can shoot mini shots through it. So building a mini sentry here is very strong, because once again, it's just gonna watch everything here, and it's gonna deny people from walking onto the point. There's been times where I literally just cleaned up 6 people just by putting a mini sentry here as NG. and you just have your sniper standing behind you, who's like semi-protected because you're here, who can safely just try to get picks and deal damage as well. Your soldier, again, depends on preferences. Your soldier could be river with you, but preferably your soldier's like the main person to lock down lobby flanks, right? Whenever you start pushing in, the soldier would probably start pressuring from Shutter. If they aren't already gone here, he should just be starting to pressure them from here. Another good play you can do is, let's say that your sniper is secured on balcony and you need to get more space done. Something strong to do is have your soldier whip your NG, whip them into secret and like play from this area. Like whoever will drop down, you can destroy from here. And then also you can put a mini sentry here, which will clear this whole site for your demo man to walk in. And if someone decides to touch the point, the soldier can absolutely destroy them from this position for sure, because this is again a choke point situation. Again, and like I said, with the spy on defense, your spy can do the exact same thing, which is just wait here for Uber to happen, sap the gun. If they are running minis on last hold, which I don't think they will in open. Some prem NGs do it, but I don't think they will do open NGs will do it. Run minis on last holds. So you go for the gun. That's like your main priority. Also, getting sniper picks is a good deal when you're pushing in, or getting them before you push in, or when you're stalemating. It's definitely worth like going, like I said, like you decloak here or you decloak here-ish, and you try to go for NG and sniper is always valuable. Like those are the main two picks you want to be going for if they're running level 3s. If they're running minis, then the NG is of course a less valuable pick for you to go for. Then definitely sniper would be main priority, because then your team can walk around freely. And like I said, if you do get sniper here, your medic can cross freely into under, so you have like more certain, you're more certain that your medic will get through alive rather than get sniped halfway through. The only thing you gotta watch out though for before you cross in an offense is that when they put a level 3 here, and let's say that you cross like with a second delay, right? Let's say that your pyro comes through, he gets shot twice by the gun, but then the gun is already watching towards riverside, right? And then your heavy comes through. That gun is just gonna juggle the heavy up in the sky, and he's gonna die. So
I hate those.
yeah, so your heavy will get caught, or your pyro will get caught by that sentry gun very easily. So if the sentry gun is there, you gotta make sure you get that down, or you get that distracted or sapped whilst you're crossing, because that gun might fuck up your whole push. Like the main, like I said once again, is if your spy just goes for the sniper here, your demo man and soldier are completely free from your soldier can spam it from lower or can spam it from balcony, and then you can have your demo just sticking it from here at the same time, or have your sniper 150 shot it from here possibly. So that's like the easiest way to deal with it. That's why that gun spot isn't that good when you put level 3s there. Like the only thing is in that scenario is it might get a pick or two, but when you're playing in when your gun is in this area, it's gonna deny Ubers and shit. So therefore the spot is like superior to this one, because this one would get you like a kill or two, but this one would deny a whole push rather than get kills, which is more valuable for the most part. But I think that's like the basics of Gully Wash for the most part. The rest just comes down to how you prefer playing it. Like, do you want your spy on flank or not on this map? Do you want him to go for combo picks? But like I said, combo picks are hard to get for a spy on Gully, because the heavy and pyro will always have a lot of time to watch their backs on this map, so usually they won't be that valuable. So it might be better to just run DR revolver and play flank with your flank and get picks that way. Also, yeah, one thing I forgot to mention is wrapping from mid. When you have the midpoint on offense and both on defense as well, you never want to commit to mid, like I said, right? So on offense, when you do have mid and you're trying to push into their second, something you always want to go for is have them walk into mid whilst you are walking into second. So the most common way that would be happening is your flank gets a shit ton of picks, right? You kill soldier, you kill scout, and you kill NG, for example. And you're still 9 people up. What you should be doing is have your flank rotate to here, and then have your combo walk into big door here, and by that you're wrapping behind them. That way they are gonna be caught in here. You can, even if you do an equal Uber exchange from this spot, it's when you have picks, it's very strong, because they're not gonna have the require a cleanup to win that after Uber, so you're in a very advantageous spot here. So just being here and then having your soldier and your other flank classes pressuring from choke whilst you're doing that, and then having your sniper also trying to get damage in is very strong. That way you're pretty much gonna wipe them on second, and you got a secure lost. I mean, you're pretty safe by pushing lost because you're gonna have full Uber add on them. Not full, but you're gonna have like a 50% add on them for the most part usually. Because by the time the medic dies, your medic is they're gonna be on a 20-second respawner, so it's gonna be plenty of time to get an Uber ad big enough to secure the lost push. And they're not gonna be able to set up their level 3 properly, etc. They're not gonna have time for any of that. So that's why this is so strong, is because you can both get second and roll through to lost with this strat. Also, when you do push here and they're like, yeah, we're gonna die here, let's push into mid, that's very dumb of them, because you can just start the second cap, you're gonna cap way faster than them, and they're gonna be caught in mid, and you can just walk back into lobby after you cap them, they're just stuck behind you. And you can just have one person spot for them, and the rest can just walk into lost meanwhile. The main thing, though, with Gully is because it's a 5 CP map and you're playing Highlander on it, is always making sure that everyone is like, everything is being covered at all times, and everything is, everyone is in their position when you're trying to push something. If you're like, especially the main place that taking into effect would be lobby and upper area. When you're pushing out of Lost, you'd never want to push out of Lost without at least 2 good picks or multiple smaller picks. I would never consider a spy a pick, by the way. When you see a spy dead, I wouldn't even consider it a pick, because a spy isn't really that big of a deal when you're pushing out. It's mainly like the demo, the pyro, the heavy, the soldier. Those are like the main classes that I'm looking for with good picks. And then for smaller picks, I would be like NG, scout, sniper, etc. When you're pushing out the sniper, it's usually not that big of a deal, like into lobby. When you're talking about pushing into second rather, then of course, then it's gonna be a much bigger deal. But you pretty much want to mirror what you're doing when you're pushing into loss. When you're pushing out of it, is you want your combo to take river control. That way you can fight second from high ground here. You can once again have your heavy come to this spot, and then have your demo spam. If they're playing big door, you can easily just spam stickies onto them from here. Whilst that's happening, you have your NG watching Lost with your heavy, so your scout and soldier either come here, one of them comes here, one goes shutter, or one goes main, and one goes, like, usually what's the best thing to do is have your scout come here and watch baby door area, so nothing can flank, and then have your soldier just hold the shutter door. With, of course, people rotating around depending on where the action is happening. But I think that's like the main things about this map. Like I said, the only thing you gotta watch out for is when you do get caught into second is to try avoid it. Like, let's say that your flank dies completely, the first thing you want to do as a combo is try to rotate here into river, because when you get this high ground, you might buy enough time for yourself or your flank to get back up and get into position again. That way your flank can start pressuring them from lobby, and you can bully them out of big door and get back into your position here.
The thing is, like, what most open players do is that they both just stack combo in choke.
That's not good. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, if they do that.
Open.
Yeah, if everyone just stacks into choke, you can just deny that with one person. If your pyro's either there or your demo's there, you can deal massive damage to them very easily. Or if their flank is dead, your soldier can even jump up here and just spam on them when they walk in. That's also what you want to do when your combo rotates to big door, is just have your soldier sit up there, because nothing can walk in pretty much. And a pyro can't really decently reflect rockets in. But I think that's like the main basics. The rest, I don't know how long you have until you're official, but the rest is gonna come down to like you scrimming the map and watching it a couple of times and fixing the easy to fix mistakes, and that way having, you know, the best goalie wash you can possibly have within that short of a time frame.
Yeah. Well, we got 5 days now, so yeah, let's see.
I mean, yeah, if you just scrim it once or twice and just demo review it, you should be fine for the most part.
Yeah, we got first scrim coming up now, but it's against a very shit team, so probably not that much to be learned here, but still better than
Well, I mean, you can still,
yeah,
I mean, you can still improve on your pushes. It's not because
yeah.
your pushes are working is that they're great pushes, right? It's more like you want to see how your pushes and shit can be optimized rather than how can they, like, it's not because they're working that they're optimized or good. You just have to like see if everyone's in the right position, see if everything's happening like it's supposed to. Like, if the enemies feed, then fair enough. Then it might just be a matter of the enemy team being bad. But if you are kind of struggling, then that might be because you don't have people in the right position, or you're just not doing it the right way. So then it might still be worth demo reviewing. If you
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
5-0
definitely
them,
is.
if you don't 5-0 them, I would say it's worth demo reviewing.
It's
Because if
definitely
you're not-
worth demo reviewing. We haven't played Gully for like, when was it? 4 weeks, 5 weeks ago, so definitely
if you're
worth a demo review.
Yeah, but
Even
let's
then,
say
we only won by a hair escape, like because of Luti backcapping.
Alright.
That's the only reason we won 2-1.
Yeah, it's actually true. Yeah, but it was a very long stalemate game. The time ran out, right? And Luti got the backup in just in time. It was a very,
Yeah.
very slow game. So yeah, definitely not one of our stronger maps, but hopefully not for our opponent as well.
Can I just disappoint you all in just one sentence?
Alright.
I don't remember the last time I played this map competitively or on casual.
I think Wayne played this one.
Yep, I think so as well.
Ah,
Yeah, but this is exactly why we are here now.
Indeed.
just a heads up.
Yeah, don't worry, man.
It's
This is-
fine.
I haven't really played with demo play, but like, dude, I played demo on this map like one fucking time, so.
Can you do the rollout?
Not
it's a heavy
consistently,
rollout.
not consistently.
Yeah,
you should
I
probably
mean,
practice that.
Yeah, I should. But like, to be honest, like the rollout not that big of a deal when we are all running around like headless fucking chickens. So one thing at a time. Map talk first, then scrim, then when I have time I will learn the rollout. Like optimize the rollout. Let's call it this way.
mm-hmm.
Hello.
And Nasdo.
All right, hey, easy.
done?
Thanks a lot, guys. I'm gonna stop the recording now.